Today in the recombinant DNA technology class we are going to discuss about the vectors. So let's talk about the vectors, what they are. If we talk about the cloning vector, it is a DNA molecule in which the foreign DNA can be inserted or integrated and which is further capable of replicating within the host cells to produce the multiple clones of the recombinant DNA. If we have the examples of these plasmids which are known as the phage or the viruses. When we talk about the characteristics of the plasmids, they should be able to replicate autonomously, that is one of the characteristics, and they must have the origin of replication. They must have the selectable markers within that plasmids and also have the restriction sites. The size of the plasmid must be the very small and it must have the low molecular weight. They should be easily isolated and purified. Easily, we can say that easily isolated into the host cells. From the host cells we can take these plasmids and also we can transfer into the host cells. So their size should be the very small. Plasmids are actually the extra chromosomal DNA molecules which have the ability to self-replicate. They also have the double-stranded DNA and they are called or the known as the short sequences of the DNA. Plasmids are the circular DNA molecules and they are found in the prokaryotes. The other characteristics of the plasmids are they have the minimum amount of the DNA and at least they must have the two selectable markers for the identification. Plasmid must be having the sites for the restriction endonuclease enzymes. When we talk about the types of the plasmids, there are commonly three types of the plasmids, which number one is the fertility plasmids, which can perform the conjugation. The other second type is the resistance plasmids, which contain the genes that build a resistance against the antibiotics or the poisons. Another type of plasmid is the cold plasmid, which contains the genes that code for the proteins which can kill the bacteria. One of the example of the plasmid is known as PBR322. The PBR322 is an artificial plasmid. Its DNA is derived from the three different but naturally occurring plasmids. So the size of this PBR322 is 2.9 millidalton, or we can say that it has the 4363 base pairs. It is isolated from the E. coli strain which is known as RP1. It contains the genes that give the resistance against two antibiotics, for example ampicillin and tetracycline, which can be denoted by AMP and TET. This plasmid has restriction sites for over 20 restriction enzymes. It means it has so many restriction sites, like 20 for the 20 restriction enzymes. When we talk about the nomenclature of that particular plasmid, so we can say that P denotes for the plasmid, BR, capital B, capital R. It is denoted by the name of the scientist who constructed these plasmids. So the name of the scientist is Bolivar Rodriguez. 322 is the number given to distinguish this plasmid from the other developed in the same laboratory. For example, if there are more than one or two or three plasmids discovered in that particular laboratory, then we can number them. So this is known as the nomenclature of the plasmid. There are when we talk about the origin of the plasmid, then there are the three different types of the origin. That means that if here the plasmid, number one is the gene ampicillin, number two is the gene for the tetracycline, and the third is the origin of the replication. So ampicillin has the resistance gene in this plasmid, then is the tetracycline resistance gene is there, and one is the origin of replication. Advantages of the PBR322, which is the example of the most frequently used plasmid. Then first advantage is that it is very commonly used plasmid in the gene cloning experiments, and it is very smaller than the other natural plasmids. Its small size increase the uptake by the bacteria during the transformation. Due to the small size, it can be easily uptaken by the bacteria. In this plasmid, the 6 kb length of the foreign DNA can be inserted. So this is the plasmid which is the most frequently used. When we talk about the PUC18, that is another plasmid which is the most frequently used in the recombinant DNA experiments, and it is one of the series of the plasmid which are known as the cloning vector. So PUC18, it is created by some scientist and its co-worker, that his name is Joachim Messing, and they give the name as PUC, which is derived from the classical P denoting the plasmid and the abbreviation for the University of California, UC. So it is known as PUC, where early work on the plasmid series had been conducted. So that plasmid has been isolated or in the laboratory of the University of California. That's why we give it the name PUC19. It is a circular, again double-stranded plasmid DNA, and it has 2686 base pairs. PUC19 is one of the most widely used vector, which as like the PBR322, and these plasmid is widely used vector molecules as the recombinants or the cells into which the foreign DNA has been introduced. It can be easily distinguished from the other recombinants based on the color differences of the colonies of bacteria. Like if we have this plasmid into the bacteria, then we can differentiate the colonies of the bacteria by color. Same is the another the family of the plasmid PUC18, which has the gene of the antibiotic resistance like ampicillin, and it also has the gene for the enzyme beta galactosidase, the LAC-Z gene. So another is that we can digest with any of one of these endonucleases. Like if we have the endonuclease enzyme like HindE3, SOL1, XBA1, BAMH1. These are the different sites present on this PUC18. That's why we can use this plasmid as a cloning vector in most of the recombinant DNA technology experiments, and we can digest any one of these endonucleases which make a single cut and which linearizes the circular plasmid DNA and allow it to recombine with the foreign DNA that has been cut with the same endonuclease. One of as now up till now we have talked about the PBR322, PUC19 and PUC18. PET21, PET21, that is another plasmid for the expression by the T7 RNA polymerase, and it originally constructed by Studier and his colleagues. Its size is 5700 base pair, and they are the family of expression vectors that utilizes phage T7 promoters to regulate the synthesis of the cloned gene products. These PET21 is derived from the PBR322 plasmid, and these PET vectors are engineered to take the advantage of the features of the T7 bacteriophage genes that promote the high level transcription and translation. PET vector expression system usually consists of site of transcription with the LAC operon and gene of interest. It has the region of replication and antibiotic resistance gene. The LAC1 for the production of LAC operon repressor proteins, and they have IPTG binds to the LAC repressor proteins. If we have this PET vector, then we can regulate the gene cloning and expression of the gene. Bacteriophage vectors are the cloning of single genes. This is another kind of bacteriophage vector, which is the cloning of the single genes which is usually carried out using plasmid, and since the insert will rarely be larger than about 2 kb. For larger pieces of DNA, these plasmids are not suitable. I am talking about the bacteriophage vectors. So the large DNA molecules can be injected in the host bacterial cell by viral particle known as the bacteriophages. M13 is the example of this and the lambda phage is also the example of these bacteriophage vectors. So girls, today we just will talk about these the vector, and in our next lecture we will talk about the cosmid vectors. So up till now I think it is enough for the today to discuss about the all the cloning vectors, and these are few of the cloning vectors which are in our coursework. If you want more, then we will have some more discussion in our next lectures. Thank you.